Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Logan. I'm here with my amazing co-host.
It's your boy, Brayden Noble.
Ooh, and welcome to episode 20, baby, of Actors POV. Yo, episode 20, man. That's crazy. 20 weeks
That's
in.
20 whole episodes.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
20
That's
whole weeks
really
of my
crazy.
life.
We're very consistent. Oh, we haven't missed a week. Let's go ahead and acknowledge that. I haven't missed a week. We're killing it, man.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, lift the boat.
Who's gonna lift the boat?
Feeling good, dude. Feeling good. Brayden, how are you, man? I haven't seen you in forever, dude. How's life treating you, man?
It's been a while. It's been a long time. One thing I do need to say, we are here. I am here.
I'm here.
Yeah, man, I had a great weekend. Had some training with the awesome Russ Blackwell. That guy was a freaking lad. And then I finished my short film pulling strings Sunday, so very productive weekend for me. And then the week, I just finished a lot of the darkroom stuff, got last minute, stuff that we needed, finished up forms and contracts and did costume and makeup stuff. So
Hey, man, filming starting tomorrow. We got to go up tomorrow morning. I'm hyped.
Heck yeah.
I'm hyped.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and we'll talk about that a little later on in the third segment. We talk about the self-tape stuff. So we'll kind of dive into that as well to end it off. But yeah. No, yeah. The reason I said I haven't seen Brady in a long Brad
Brady boy.
in a long time, Tom Brady, is because we went watch The Boogeyman today, and we're filming this on Saturday. Because, dude, okay, I'm gonna let the audience know, man. Yesterday, we usually see our movies on Fridays, right? We try to see it as quickly as we possibly can. We were gonna see it Friday, and I went to Friday afternoon around I think it was 2:45 or 2:40 was the time, and I went to Animal Kingdom, Disney's Animal Kingdom, and I was hanging out and stuff, and I left at 1:00. Was to get to Brayden's house at 1:50, right, max. I went in my car, I used CarPlay, and I said Brayden's address, which I won't say on here. You got everybody pulling up, the whole squad.
Where are they filming?
But no,
we
man,
want to go to set.
I put it in the CarPlay thing, and I ended up an hour and a half away from Brayden's house. So it went from being 50 minutes to an hour and a half, and it's 2:00. At that point, it was about 2:00. And the movie was in 45 minutes, and it took me an hour just to get back to Brayden's house, and then another 30 minutes to get to the actual, movie theater. So we didn't do that because I thought I put in the right address. I did the voice activation thing, didn't work out. It was pretty annoying. But
hey, man, I mean, honestly, what can you do though? Let's be honest.
You live on a street that doesn't have a very common name, but for some reason there's 20 different versions of it. Makes no sense.
I live on a street, homie.
Oh, you do?
Dude, not just any street, the street.
The street.
I live on a street.
Fear Street. You watch those movies, right? Did you watch them?
Nightmare on Elm Street?
The Fear Street.
Fear Street.
You didn't watch Fear Street?
No.
Bro, they're on Netflix, dude.
What is Fear Street?
Bro, so it's these three Sadie Sink's in it and stuff. It's these three horror movies that one takes place in 1966, one takes place in the 80s, and one takes place in modern time. And they're all cool. Links a trilogy.
Connected?
It's dope. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is pretty cool.
And they all came out at the same time. And it's an actual story. So it goes back backwards. So it starts with modern, goes to the 80s, and then goes to the 1966. It's dope, bro. Or not 1966, 1666.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, 3
I'm gonna actually check it out.
No, dude, it's actually really dope. Came out
two. Write everything down.
I know that's what I'm saying, man.
Check out, bro.
Yes, sir. But no, yeah, man. So we watched it today. Got to it. This movie came out last week, but we had Spider-Man, which we had to see. Spider-Man. So yeah, we had nothing going on this week. I don't think anything really released that was new, except for Transformers. But I don't really care for. I've never listen. I don't mind Transformers, but I've never been a huge Transformers guy.
Yeah, me neither.
So
yeah, it's it's like Fast and Furious for me, bro.
Yeah, it's just enjoyable.
Dang.
But the Boogeyman's
the synopsis, bro.
Oh, for Boogeyman. The Boogeyman.
Bro, it's long.
It's a long one.
Long.
It's a horror movie, bro. It got that long synopsis, dog.
Long.
But yeah, man. So we went and watched this movie. I was really excited for it, and Braden's about to read off the synopsis so we can dive into it.
High school student Sadie Harper and her younger sister Sawyer are still reeling from the recent death of their mother. They're not getting much support from their father, Will, a therapist who's dealing with his own intense pain. When a desperate patient unexpectedly shows up at their house seeking help, he leaves behind a terrifying supernatural entity that preys on families and feeds on the suffering of its victims.
That was actually a really solid synopsis, though. Like it was a little longer,
Dude.
but like that's one of the best this year, man.
Yeah,
I gotta
no,
give
for
it to him.
sure.
That's clean.
For sure.
Yeah,
Is
man.
Cocaine Bear the one with the shitty one? Which one had the really bad
No,
synopsis?
it was one that we like really enjoyed.
Oh, yeah, dude. Um,
It wasn't Mario. Mario was cool,
is it
right?
Ant-Man?
No, I don't know, but I remember there being
We'll
one
have to
that
go
we were.
back. We'll
Yeah,
go
I
back.
remember we read it out and we're
Was
like,
it
"What
Evil
is
Dead
this?"
again? We've been shitting on Evil
I
Dead.
the movie sucked, man. No, I don't remember what it was.
God.
I don't remember
Yeah.
what it was. It was one that we really enjoyed, though.
Anyone in the comments, let us know. I'm
Yeah,
curious.
if you're
I'm
a
gonna come
true
back and look.
viewer, man, you remember. You remember.
Yeah, definitely
Um, we know he's listening. Shout out to our boy, man. Get on Minecraft isn't even on when I get on.
Who's like the only one that wasn't on?
I know, bro. Like, what you keep telling me to get on, then I get on. You're not there. Yeah, man. Boogeyman. Dude, fun film. Like I said, this is
It
a
was a
movie
fun
that
movie.
like I've been kind of like looking at for a while now. I saw the teaser for it a couple months back, like in like February or January, and I was like, okay, this is cool, looks interesting, and I like the whole like they kept showing the sequence under the bed, which he would roll the little globe or whatever under it, and I was like, this is cool, man, it's creepy, I dig it. The monster
Yeah.
looks weird, which we'll get into in a little bit. I really like it, and I've been kind of, and then the Stephen King adaptation from his short story, it brought me into it, man. And I'm glad I went and watched it. I think it's, even though we have our opinion that we have, I think it was still fun to go check it out and to see what's going on. So, yeah, yeah,
What opinion that we have?
yeah, with the opinion we have. I will say this, man. It started out with the bang. The whole,
Oh, fuck yeah.
I mean, it
Very hereditary like.
very hereditary. Like it draws you
You know
in.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Immediately, you're like, holy shit.
Yep, and you can, right from the get go, you can feel the Stranger Things vibe. Dan Cohen, Sean Levy, and a bunch of other producers and people behind Stranger Things are behind this one. This is kind of their baby, and of course, Rob Savage, done really well here. Love what they did, and you feel it right from the get go. But I mean, you see this girl, this little, I don't know, she might have been like 3 years old, 2 years old, and you see her in her little baby crib or whatever, and it might even be even younger than that. And you hear like the whispering of her dad or something. You don't know really what's going on, and then you see this really creepy hand, and then you just see blood just splattered all on the wall, dude, and just the silence after that, which we're big fans of. We love when the music just stops and you hear the environment and the atmosphere. That's how you build a good environment and atmosphere, bro. Might see a little bit of that in ours. I'm just saying. We'll see. We'll see.
You better be watching.
We'll see. You better be.
better
But no, yeah, man. So I like how it draws you in right away. Anytime a movie kills a kid, you're always like, whoa.
Whoa.
And
yeah.
now movies are starting to really get back to that again. I mean, Halloween Ends, man.
No,
That
true.
one's probably the most brutal because you see the kid. You watch Halloween Ends, right?
Is that the first one of the new trilogy?
I hate this man. But no. So the kid. I don't want to. I'm not gonna spoil it. Then I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But you
I
need to
love
watch it.
spoilers.
Okay, well, yeah, it's fine. It's probably one of the most shocking things I've ever seen in any movie, period, bro. It's this kid, he's on a ledge, and you see him literally fall off the ledge in his house, like the stairs or whatever, and like goes like head first into the ground. And it's like, oh my God, and this kid's like 5 years old. It's actually pretty funny because he goes, boom. But like, no, it's messed up stuff, dude. So that one, it's really reminded me of this one because that takes place in like the opening act too, like Hereditary. And I appreciate it for that. I thought it brought me in.
It's a smart way to, completely, because then you're like invested.
Yeah.
It's the problem that I think this film suffers from. It's so the risky thing about doing that is once you do that, you're setting the tone already. So you have to keep that tone continuous and build from there and to keep people engaged. If you start off slow and you build, you know what I mean? People don't have to be hooked from the first second.
Yeah.
And that's where you know, I love this movie. I think this movie is actually really awesome. But I think that's where this movie kind of faltered a little bit because of that. You know, you get such an interesting beginning, and I was like, oh, dude, this is like, I got up, I was like, damn, this is gonna be good. And then like the next 30 minutes are kind of just like filler. Like, you know what I mean? I'm getting
Yeah.
introduced, and there's nothing that not that scary again for a while, and I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, like you said, you set the tone for the movie and then you go forward. And I think they did a good job following that up with the guy hanging himself in the closet, which I thought was
Absolutely.
like, oh, wow, this is trippy. This is wild.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I
you're good.
love
You're
the
good.
fact that it wasn't like the traditional like fight scene, like when he turned around, he wasn't there. And then he was like, kept talking. And then you turn around, he's walking up the stairs. Like, I loved that. Like, it gives that mysterious, like, you don't know where he is now. You know what I mean? He could be anywhere.
Yeah.
I love when movies do that. But
He's like the
continue.
boogeyman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's literally
Yeah.
like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I think it set the tone there again. You're like, oh, wow, this is going to get crazy. And then you don't see anything literally until the last part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind a slow first act at all, right? But when you get to the second act, it let me just start off by saying this. This movie,
I think
good.
the second act's the worst for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, I
You
don't
know
know
what I
why I
mean?
paused there. Yeah, I totally agree. I think so. Here's the thing with this movie. It starts
Yeah.
out. There's a good introduction to all the characters. They do a pretty good backstory with the whole mom thing. Add some
Yeah.
stuff to them. The daughter's going through a lot with the bullying, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Oh
And
my God.
and there's there's interesting family dynamic, right? Of the mom passing away and them still dealing with the grief, and then it's really interesting because the dad is a therapist, but he's not coming in terms with losing his wife.
I
So
love
that's
that
really
how he
interesting.
won't even like talk
Yeah.
to the therapist at the beginning.
I
You know what I
really
mean?
like that.
He's not following his own practices.
Yeah, because you see the two kids in the therapy room, and then, which, by the way, with the most horrible tactics you'll ever see in your life, and then, but the dad's not there. You know
It's
what I mean?
torture.
It's literal torture.
I've
I
never seen some shit like that.
It's terrible. No,
And it made it
so
worse that the lady kept walking around the whole time, changing positions. Like when it goes black and then she's all the way over here, and you're like, what the?
bro, so the little kid obviously is going through all this torment, seeing these different creatures and whatever, the one creature, and then they go into this room and she's like, all right, look, you have to face your fears, and puts down this like red bulb or something, kind of like my microphone, right, like this thing, puts it down, and then she's like, all right. And I thought, Brayden, you said this, and I thought this is what was gonna happen. I thought it was
It's
gonna
gonna
slowly dim out.
dim.
But it didn't.
Yeah.
It blinks and then
Just
blinks
kept
longer
flickering.
and then longer and longer. And you're sitting there like, what do we do? This isn't facing your fears. This little kid, by the way, the entire time is crying, grabbing
Yeah.
onto her sister, seeing this creature across the room. And then the
I
therapist
like
is like,
her way more than the Evil Dead daughter.
oh, yeah, way better, way better, way better, way better.
Yo.
But no, like, if you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing, dude? You're torturing. This is not a therapy session, bro.
Yo, but that was the thing. Like, even I was sitting there kind of freaked out. Like, she would change and then they'd be close up on her face. And I'm like, dude, sit the fuck down. Okay? It's better if we all know we're all sitting in the same spot. No one's moving. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Stop
yeah.
trying to trip this girl out.
I feel like also what that was is, and this is, I might be diving too deep into this, but that could have been just the kid's point of view, the little girl's point of view. Maybe she's
Yeah,
just
because no one else saw anything.
right. So, or even just like how the therapist was, maybe the therapist was just sitting there the entire time and she's just seeing all these things because she's a 5-year-old kid or whatever, and that could be in the child's mind from her point of view. But I don't think that was it at all. I don't think that's what they're going for at all. I think they were just genuinely trying to scare the audience, and I think that it just fell flat on its face. I didn't like that at all. I was sitting there like, what are we doing?
The writers listening to this right now. No, that first one.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, and that might be what they're going for. If so, props to them. I really like that. But like, yeah, you're just sitting there like, I don't know what we're doing there.
Yeah.
But
No, I totally agree, dude. I totally agree. That was one of the scenes we sat there and we were like, why the hell did they think that's something I'm gonna try and get it like I guess we're on the negatives right now. But this movie is really good. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I wouldn't sit there and I didn't not enjoy it. Like no offense to Fool's Paradise. I like this movie way more than that movie. I sat there. I felt good afterwards. I
oh,
was like, yeah, that's a
100%.
good movie.
Yeah.
But it falters to that. Working on set more, you get the realism. Like yes, your character isn't supposed to know what's going on. You know what I mean? So that's why when you watch the horror movies, they're walking towards the sound, which makes no sense because in your head, like they're right there, turn around, stop, stop, stop. And this is what I said to Logan. I feel like this year has been very meta. Like people aren't doing stupid, cringy, pardon my language, shit like that anymore in recent year movies. Like when you think of Scream or Evil Dead, like there was nothing like cringy about either of those films. You know what I mean? Not really. And maybe the dude running with the gun. That's that's it.
That was pretty bad.
Okay.
That was horrible. Where's
That's
the plane?
horrible.
Where's the plane?
Where's the plane? Where's the plane? Um, but there's just things like that where like, when the girl would hear the voice that it was mimicking, that I understand. You know what I mean? No, as a character, you don't know the difference. But when you roll a ball and you hear and it just smashed and everything's black and you're like, what the fuck? Why
Yeah.
would you go there?
Yeah.
You're four. You're four.
We could talk about that. We could talk about listen, man, and we mentioned this as we were walking out of the theater. Horror movies, and we've talked about this before on this podcast, reviewing other horror movies. I think Evil Dead was the main one we were talking about. They make dumb decisions. Characters make dumb decisions in horror movies. I'm a big horror fan. I am. Don't look at the Nintendo stuff in the background. Don't let that fool you. I love horror movies, dude. I have a whole horror wall over here, man. I'm going to tell y'all right now. They make bad decisions, but this movie just takes it to a whole new level once again. And it's like,
Yeah.
it almost like we went back to like horror movies in like the mid 2010s and like the early 2010s where they just make dumb decisions. It's like,
And
what are we doing?
That's why I was saying with like the voice, like I totally get that. That is an understandable stupid decision. That's stupid as a viewer, but like as a character, I totally get it. Like, you know what I mean? You're watching it, like that makes sense. But like I said, when she rolls the ball and it just smashes, or you see something crawl into your bed, why are you completely silent? I'd be screaming my head off.
Yeah.
Like that's just realism. And I understand for the sake of the story, sometimes you have to sideline that. But there are other movies like I'm saying, like Scream and Evil Dead, that I just feel like did that better. Like they made it, at least the kid, the little girl in the last one who was annoying, but it made sense. She doesn't know better. She's annoying, you know.
Yeah.
One of the most things that bothered me is that he snapped his leg in half at the end, and bro gets up and walks out. He's hobbling out, bro. If your leg was literally snapped and two different if you tried to step, your bones poking through your skin. It's I would have preferred him jump on one leg.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
And I understand it's like a 16-year-old girl and like a 4-year-old, and that's the problem. I guarantee that's what they ran into. That is the problem they 100% ran into.
It wasn't even two bigger people, two adults. It was a fucking teen and a little girl.
So I understand why they're doing that and why they decided for him to jump on it, but it makes, like you said, no sense. There's a lot of illogical things that happen in this. Also, use a flashlight. Why are you putting a bunch of candles down? Just pick up a flashlight and point it at it, dude. I don't ever understand that.
Easy.
Or how about you do this? Go to your local Home Depot and get a torch, okay? And then just go around with the torch and then do something like that. Get a freaking mosquito tiki thing that you light on top and then walk around with that. I don't know. Just something that it's like I genuinely don't. Or take out your flashlight on your phone. Take it out.
Well, yeah, she waited to the very end to do that.
Oh my!
And then
dude.
she put it away like right away.
Yes. What are you doing, bro? Makes no sense. So I think we mentioned that in the synopsis, but the boogeyman feeds off of number one, he feeds off of negative energy, but also darkness. He lives in darkness. Any kind of light he does not like, or it does not like. So then why not use a flashlight? So they put all these candles up, and like. There's some people online that are saying, oh, well, why don't they just turn on the lights? Well, in the movie, it shows that every time you turn off a light, it turn off anyway. So it's like there's no point in turning on lights. So I understand the candle thing. But still, man, just go and get like 20 flashlights from like Home Depot or Walmart or something. And you can find them at the Dollar Tree, right? And then just go up and set them all around your house, and then you'll be okay. Or just get a good one and just keep it with you. Also, stay in groups. When they send one person inside of a house,
oh my god,
I don't get it. Or hey, let me go investigate the basement bomb. It makes no sense to me. I don't get it.
The best friend, that's the one that like really annoyed me because the daughter at the end, there's a scene where the oldest daughter goes down and she tells the little girl to wait, and then the little girl just follows her and she's like no, and she's like no, I'm coming. I'm like, why is she thinking more intelligent than you? You literally, it's the idea. We've seen films do the same shit this year, but better. Why are you she just right before that, in the scene right before that, is tied up and watched like 5 tripwired shotguns go off and shoot this beast. And then a woman shoot it in the head twice with a shotgun and then get picked up after they thought it was dead and shot it 3 more times and got ripped in half. Why do you think that you are going to go down there and beat it with a fucking hockey stick? Where? Where's the plane? Where's the plane? Why is bro's leg snap and walking?
You know one thing that really bothered me too when they're at the wife's house of the original guy that hung himself that died. The wife,
Yeah.
she has a shotgun. The boogeyman is holding the teenage girl that we're always with. Not Sawyer. Do you remember the girl's name?
I had it in the synopsis.
Oh, I don't know it.
Sadie.
Sadie. The boogeyman has Sadie by the neck, holding her like right here on his shoulder. The wife gets a shotgun and then shoots him. Listen, anybody with a brain knows that a shotgun, guess what the bullets do? They don't go straight. They spread. They spread very quickly. So it doesn't matter how close you are. And by the way, she was staying pretty far back. Maybe even 10 to 15. Maybe 10 to 15 feet. How are you going to shoot and then miss the girl when they're like head like right here? Makes no sense. That is what something that really caught me off guard. I'm sitting there like,
They
okay,
should have had it like she got inflicted somehow. Like, you know what I mean? The
shot in the
spread.
shoulder, something, man. But
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that is one thing that really bothered me because I'm like, how, bro? You must have the best aim in the world and also have some kind of specific bullet. It made no sense to me, dude. I don't know. And I understand there's bird shot and I get that, and buckshot, but like there's no type of type of ammo for a shotgun that's not going to spread like that. It makes no sense.
No, and just while we're on it, I think this is probably like my last negative that I can really think about. Man, and this is a big one. This is a big one for me because I think the overall negative of this film, and this is if you can obviously tell what we're coming from is the writing. And I don't think the writing's bad. I just think it's really cringy to watch people make these stupid decisions. Like, and maybe I shouldn't be comparing it to other films, but I am. That's the job here. You know what I mean? And watching other films that executed it better without making things like awkward and cringy and just like I sat there and I was like, ugh, like who the fuck says that? Like, you know what I mean? And like I haven't had that for a film in a while. So I think, and that's what I was telling Logan, I think they have a great idea on their hands. I just think the chum was a little spoiled.
Yeah.
The chum was there. It was just spoiled.
Yeah, it's cringy. I think it's very predictable. The plot structure is very. I mean, no, listen. I think some of the jump scares are all great, which we'll get to. But I think it overall is just a very predictable movie, like structure wise. Like I told you, I'm like, oh, it's gonna get burned at the end.
Yeah.
They're gonna get attacked right here.
This is foreshadowing for her thing later.
Yeah, exactly. I told you that too. It's like it's going to happen here, and it obviously did. And then like this, I don't know, man. And then like I guess one of my other biggest things too, and we talked about this, man, was like the useless scenes throughout. So we talked about how the second act isn't great. Here's my problem with the second act, right? If the second act would have been more structurally better, I think we would have been looking at a pretty good movie here. But
yeah,
my thing is, you have all this momentum and momentum. You have all this momentum. If you guys know what that's from, you're incredible. So you have all this momentum in the first act, right? And then a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of deaths. You're going. The train is rolling, baby. And then you get in the second act, and it's like more story stuff. And then you just throw in like a chase sequence or something for like 5 minutes, and you go back to the story. Yeah, and I'm sitting there, and like it's very confusing, man. And I'm not talking about all the stuff at the wife's house, the murderer's house, where all the original stuff happened with that family. I'm talking about just the stuff with the mom and everything and the family that we're really focusing on. Like, there's a lot here. By the way, the guy needs to play Joel in The Last of Us. I think that's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Brayden brought that up. Yeah, no, Brayden brought that up, and I was like, oh, I can't unsee it now.
He looks like him. He could play him so well. It's
I'm going to, break. You look up the actor's name while I'm talking about this. I want to see.
Yeah.
But no, it's like you have all this really good, interesting stuff, and then they really dive even deeper into the mom and into the backstory, and it's not really that intriguing, at least for me. It's not unique really in any way. It was kind of repetitive. And then you go back to these just chase sequences that last for 5 minutes that nobody's going to get hurt in. You know what I mean? And then like you don't see any deaths or anything happen, and then you just jump back and forth, back and forth. So that's probably one of my biggest cons, man, is you get taken out of the movie in the middle of the film. I thought the first act was great. Third act was cool, but you're so out of the movie and out of everything, you're just not really engaged anymore.
It's it's like the first act is misplaced. Like, you know what I mean? They did that thing, and like I said, they weren't able to. It's also Chris Messina. Christopher Messina.
Hey, that guy killed it.
Messina.
Yeah.
He killed it. He killed it. I agree with you because it does exactly what I said. Like it takes you out of that. They don't continuously build upon that momentum that they dropped. And so that second act almost feels like that's what should have came first. You know what I mean? Like that part should have started the movie, so I could have stayed engaged. It's kind of just like meh.
Yeah, this movie should have been way more fast paced. I think
Yeah,
more fast paced Boogeyman. And this movie's only like an hour and 26 minutes long, but
yeah,
if you, I don't know, bring this down like another 10 minutes, man. I know it's a really short film. You're like what, like an hour and 16. But you can add some more
mhm.
stuff in here. Just pick up the pace a little bit. I don't know how you do it, but if you could make that happen, this movie I think is
Yeah,
a really really fun film.
yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier. Besides the writing, I feel like in those random inserts, which I feel comes along with the writing. I think my biggest problem, which again is another writing problem, dude, it's the friend group. This goes back. I meant to touch on this a long time ago because it should have been in the part of things that don't make fucking sense. And I'm sorry for being so vulgar, but this movie, just some points, just literally like, as a person, if someone was rude to me, I'm not hanging out with them. I'm not inviting them into my humbled abode. Dude, this girl convinces her old best friend to invite the girls that have been bullying her for this entire film over to her house. And they're rude to her the entire time. She doesn't ask anyone to leave. And then, like, they trap her in a closet. And then she finally retaliates and they're just being dicks. And then what was their purpose? None of them even die. Like, they just leave. And then you never see them again after she smacks him. And it's like,
It'd be different if they were disposable characters, but they're not. They
exactly.
come in and just leave.
At least the mom's story, the subplot could have been stronger, but at least it got wrapped in the end. At
Yeah.
least, her mom's the one who saved them in the end. You know what I mean? Technically. But then these girls were just assholes the whole film, and there was no like big shebang for her character. Like, what was their significance? To get bullied the whole time and finally punch her at the end? I looked at Logan the first time she like spilled yogurt on her. I was like, this scene would be 20 times better if she decked her in the fucking mouth right now, dude. You deck this girl in the face. I'm like in love with the movie. You know what I mean? She later like walk all over, and I was like, no way, man.
Yeah.
But it's just something that it's not like the biggest thing in the world, but it's just weird that these characters keep reoccurring when their significance is so little. Like they have no importance in the story at all.
The biggest sequence that was probably the biggest problem when it comes to that was inviting over to the house. And then
Yeah.
also, what is the relationship between her and the friends? Like, I understand her relationship to the main girl that was her old best friend or whatever that she has the bathroom scene with, which by the way, that bathroom scene is one of my favorite scenes in the entire
It's
film.
actually
It's
really
really
good.
emotional and really good. I thought the writing was really good in that. I really enjoyed it. That really popped out there. But what's her relationship with the other three girls? We don't dive into that
And
at
she was like, they're
all.
your friends too. But then
Yeah,
from what
so
I've
what are
seen the whole
we?
film, they're assholes.
Yeah, so I don't know where
They
that.
don't like her. So
Yeah, so what's going on there? What's that relationship like? Did they hang out before?
mhm.
We don't know. I genuinely have no clue. Because she wouldn't say
Yeah.
that one line you just talked about. They're your friends too. She wouldn't just say that just because it's her friend or her
Yeah.
friend group. Like there's some kind of history there, and they didn't dive into it. And I'm kind of, I don't know. I wish they would have.
Well, because, and it's something you said, like, you didn't, I don't want to speak for you, but I think when we were talking, you said you weren't really a fan of, like, the mother story because of, like, it almost seemed a little pointless. You know what I mean? Kind of like this one. And I feel like that's where something that, like, they could have taken so many scenes from the friends and given that time to the mom and explained more of her backstory so that that wrap up in the end made more sense. And that way, these girls can just be disposable, inconvenient characters. That was never really a subplot. But they put them in the movie enough to make it seem like it was a subplot and just never like where did it go? It's just one of those details in the tree that like how some details like branch off into 17. This thing just branches off into one, and it's
Yeah,
the girls. There's no plot. They're just assholes the whole film.
yeah,
No character arc for them. It
yeah.
doesn't improve. Not say or Sadie's character. Yeah, Sawyer's the younger one. It doesn't improve Sadie's character at all. I don't think it makes her stronger.
And then you could tell the Stranger Things. I love Dan Cohen and all them so much, man. They're incredible. But you could tell this is very 80s bullying. I don't know about you, but that's what I like. Really, what I felt. Kind of very cheesy
When I
bullying,
saw like
and that's kind of what I was
the
feeling.
stuff on the wall, that's where I really started to get that Stranger Things vibe, and I think they did it. They executed it very well.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, like I said, and this will go into our pros. Like you look at the cast, and besides those girls, like I think the main cast is phenomenal. Like I think these three actors, we haven't really seen them before. Actually, the little girl I did see. from the Kenobi show. She's awesome. But this cast is super strong, and I think, like I said, all the points that we were making earlier are just kind of suffer from. I don't want to say bad writing, but I want to say in not as organized writing as it could have been. You know what I mean? But like I know we were talking about the cast is awesome. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, man.
Joel.
It's really hard. So this is based off of like a short, short novel. So or a short story. Sorry, I don't know how long the short story is, but short stories means that they're pretty short, right? God, I'm short. Dang, man, making me sad, bro. Making me sad. No. I was trying to come up. I was trying to come up with like a funny like short joke, and nothing came to my mind, so we ended up with that. It is what it is. But no, so like short stories, like they can be short. You know what I mean? And they can be like super short to the point where they're like 10 pages long. So I want to know what kind of content they were working with here. And I might have more respect and maybe more understanding of where they went with some of these different decisions. You know what I mean? Because like maybe they weren't given a lot. Maybe a lot of this was their idea, or maybe they were not given the best. It's Stephen King, so it's pretty good stuff. But I'm saying like maybe they just didn't know really where to go with some of this. So I want to see the short story now and to see where they went with it. And kind of what they had to play with. Because I think that's going to affect my opinion on this movie. And by the way, we just saw this movie today. A couple hours ago, so we genuinely we haven't really had time for it to kind of settle. This is kind of first reaction type stuff. So
I said to Logan, I was like, this is not a movie I can give my like. A lot of movies you can sit there and be like, this is what I think is good and this is what I think is bad. This movie I feel like is just a movie I can talk about because I'm very fascinated with it actually. Like I don't think it's by far the best movie I've ever seen, but I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I think it's actually quite an excellent film, and like I said, the chum was there. I just felt like it was a little bit spoiled. And moving on from the principal cast, but I think the entity that they choose, how we talked about it, it's very much of a reminder of like a Wendigo from like Until Dawn or like The Quarry. And I freaking love that, dude. Like it is so cool seeing that. I've always thought Until Dawn, like ever since that movie, I was like, dude, this is the scariest villain in a horror game that I've ever played. Like, you know what I mean? These things are terrifying. You know what I mean? I love the fact that they brought into this, and the fact like the perfect scene. I felt like they idolized it, where it was crawling and it was like chasing her on the walls and jumping after she literally picked the girl up and ripped her in half. I was like, that's literally Until Dawn. Like, and I'm such a big fan of that game. I love the anthologies, and I think this entity is just so cool. I think that's why I was telling Logan, I personally think this will get like a universe. I've always thought that they should, you know what I mean? Pursuing an entity like the Wendigo, or I'm gonna say it's a Wendigo because that's very much what I think it is. It's that or what do they call, like a skin crawler or whatever they called, or a night walker, something like that. Very much one of those two things. But dude, it was so cool. I loved the short, like the scary scenes because it's so cool how subtle they do it because you'll see it in the background, but they do not put any emphasis on it. And it's you as a viewer that's just like, wait, what the fuck? And then it jumps in your face and you're like, holy shit. They don't throw it at you. So you're like, you're focused on this and that just happens. You catch it yourself and then you're like, what the? And then that's when they give you enough time to catch it and push it.
Yeah, which is like one of my favorite things in a horror movie when it trusts the audience to be smart enough and not have to explain everything to them. I love that.
You could just see the eyes in the background mirror.
Yeah, and it's perfect, and they don't have to like make it jump out of you. I guarantee we missed a few shots where you could see it. You know what I mean? Like I like that. I like that they let the audience figure it out. Yeah, and the creature design was dope. I agree, man. Really creepy. I think the creepiest scene though is when it runs under the bed, where she goes up and
at
you
the
just
beginning.
See it. Yeah, dude, that is, and they put that in the trailer, sadly. So I remember in the previews and stuff at the movie theaters. So we've already seen it a few times with the previews, which is so stupid. They give away that's just a common thing now. I can't really fault the movie for that. Everybody does it. But the best scene in the entire movie, especially when she rolls the thing under the little ball under the bed, and you see it. It's creepy, dude. It's so well done. And yeah, it's a really creepy villain. I like that they kind of keep it hidden for most of the movie until the very end. I thought that was really good as well. Not having to show everything right away and letting the audience kind of come up with its imagination. You see it as like a 4-legged creature, then you see it as like a 6-legged creature. You know what I mean, with like 7 arms and stuff. And you get to see these different versions. Cool. Yeah.
That you're totally right. And I hate to cut you off.
How
But
dare you?
you spark. I'm sorry, you sparked this idea that I feel like you could build upon. Yeah, no, I just think that it started off like you didn't see the ghost at first, or we didn't see the Wendigo at first. You know what I mean? We saw it crawling or on the picture, and then you're like, oh, dude, that's super cool. Maybe it's like a Quiet Place. Maybe we won't see them the whole movie. And then you see it crawl for the first time, and you're like, oh shit. And then you see its face for the first time. And then you see all of it. You know what I mean? You see it in full action. Like, I totally get what you're saying. I think that was like one of the coolest things about the movie, or at least what they did with the Wendigo.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I liked it. The Boogeyman. I
The
liked it.
boogeyman. Yeah, I should call it the boogeyman.
Yeah, the Boogeyman, bro. Come on now. Come on now. No, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really well done. And I thought it was a really creepy villain. And I'm glad. Brayden said he's always wanted to see something like that. And the fact that it finally came to life, I thought it was executed pretty well. So we'll take it, baby.
Man.
We will take it, man. And yeah, and we talk about the acting and stuff as well. I mean, I think that really pops out overall throughout the entire film. I mean, especially the little girl. The little girl's like 6 years old, dude. And she did really well for the most part.
Yeah.
I thought she did great.
I loved the scoring. Like, not even like,
I was going to say that. This is one of the best scores, I think, for this year for me.
Yeah. It's so subtle because I love the one where he walked upstairs and she had the music playing in her ear, like the radio music, but it was like the horror music under it.
Yeah, sure.
When Lester was like on the top floor and she had just put her stuff in the washing machine.
Yeah.
It was still like playing the music in her ear, but then like the horror music was like,
yeah.
And it just like, dude, how they overlapped with each other, I thought was so freaking cool.
They use that same like that kind of score that one. They used that throughout the entire film in really good moments with the little girl walking by herself, and then the I can't remember the girl's name, the older sister when she's walking by herself. Sadie. Like there's some really good moments with them, and it's that same score that's really creepy. And that is as actually in my pros. I thought that was really well done. It's something that jumped out at me. I liked it. Yeah. I really dug it.
Glad you thought so too.
Yes, sir. And then just the directing and DP, like there's the camera work, dude. I mean, you know, one of my favorite shots is when, and I wish it would have done more of this, man. I thought we are gonna see a lot more of it. Is when she like goes under the bed, or she like goes under, and then, like the camera flips.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that, like upside down? But that was clean, dude. I really dug that, and I wish we would have seen more creative shots like that.
The couch scene.
Yeah, because I know Rob, dude, Savage. He's definitely capable. That dude's a great director, and he could have had a lot more fun with it. And with all these amazing, you know, this amazing support system behind him with Sean Levy and all these people, like he could have done some cool stuff with it. And the DP, I don't know who it is, but I'm assuming they had a really good DP on it as well. They could have done a lot more, and I feel like that would have added some more uniqueness to the movie and some more, you know, intriguing aspects to it. But that is one thing that really jumped out at me was the DP, and there's some good shots throughout, man, that are really creative. Whether it's the one light source coming from the washing machine or the dryer, when he picks out his wife's dress, remember? After the girl gets the thing spilt on, that whole sequence is like there's a lot of good use of lighting, and especially in a movie that, you know, is very dark because of the boogeyman.
I get a lot of Lights Out feel. You know what I mean? You ever seen Lights Out?
Never seen it.
Oh, it's actually pretty good.
I haven't seen it, man.
That's the movie that got the short.
Yeah. From like the 2-minute clip.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
Wild stuff. It's gonna be us, man. No. Oh. Hey now. And yeah, man. I think like the jump scares really got me a couple times. We already kind of talked about that, but there's a couple times where it dude. There was a couple times where I actually jumped a little bit.
Yeah. I loved that scene.
Yeah.
Where she was like telling me, she's like, I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, dude, you're setting such a bad example. Like, you know it's true. You just saw it was true. Why are you telling her it's not true? Slams the door. It's not boom. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, there's a couple good sequences where you're sitting there like, man. Oh my god.
Well, because we were saying it's not very cheesy, you know what I mean? And they give you enough time as a viewer. Like, I did not expect that at all. Like, sometimes you expect the jump. That's with the subtleness of it with their jump scares. Like, usually you expect it. Like, a lot of the time, of course, they set it up in certain scenes. But, like, a scene like that, I had no freaking idea that was about to happen. Not a single clue.
Even when the girl's on the couch and she's like, number one, she's just sitting there like this, laying down on the couch. That really bothered me. But anyway, which, by the way, why would the dad let her go down there by herself when he knows all this is happening? Like, I don't. Anyway, dude, it makes zero sense. Or why the sister is letting her go. That's back to the logic stuff.
She's being bullied.
But yeah, I know.
She was in the middle of being bullied.
It's ridiculous, dude. So anyway, she She's down there by herself and she's like on the couch playing the PlayStation, which I really like that as well. Is when like the
Which is like
little thing goes on, the light goes on. Yeah, dude, I
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
dug that. But like when she's laying down and then like you see her kind of go up like this above the like looking over the couch and you expect a jump scare but you don't get it. And then
Yeah.
you see it behind her on the wall like the
That's
freaking
the
Grinch, bro.
subtleness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that brought back some PTSD from when I was 5 watching the Grinch, dude. That was the scariest scene in the Grinch, bro. Stop playing.
No, I love that you said that because that is literally the description of the subtleness that I'm talking about. Like they could have given us that jump scare right there, but then like you see it, it's not there, and you're like, fudge. And then it turns around, and then you as a viewer just seeing it, you're like, oh my god, dude. And then they shift focus to it. And I think that was so cool. I really liked how they did those jump scares.
Yeah, because like you look at like a lot of these movies and these horror movies use the same exact like rhythm almost.
It wasn't
It's pretty much
cliche.
like it's like horror movies. I don't want to say nowadays because we're getting a lot better with it now. We're getting more self-aware. But like the 2000s, the 2010s, it followed like a very generic rhythm and structure to jump scares, which is why jump scares were so hated on for the past 20 years because they got so repetitive. It's the same thing over and over. What I like about Sean Levy and Rob Savage and what they all did with this film is they all gave it like unique jump scares and unique suspense and a lot of chum, man. You know what I mean? A lot of good stuff in there, bro. That I thought really attracted me when it came to that because I thought the suspense was good. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was a standout, but I think the jump scare was what really killed it in this, bro. I think it really worked. I'm not a big jump scare guy either.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that statement.
Let's go, baby. All right,
Statement.
it's time to rank the movie on a scale of 1 to 10. This is where y'all come in, by the way. Y'all need to rank it as well down below as we do it. That means you too, Cass.
You, Cassidy. Go freaking watch it, man.
1 to 10. Brayden, did I go first last time? I think I did. I did.
Really?
I did go first. No?
I thought I went first.
I'll go first then. Whatever. God, bro. Ruining the mood.
Sorry.
I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Thought it was
very
good.
close to what I have.
I was going to go 7.6, but I went down 7.5. Like I said, liked it, enjoyed it. Just a lot of like, I feel like every time I watch this movie, it's going to be like one of those movies that I talked about, or I think we talked about, I think one of the Spider-Man movies that I mentioned. I think it was, Amazing Spider-Man 2 or something like that. When I said that the good stuff really jumps out at me and the bad stuff just gets worse for every watch. So I feel like this is going to be one of those movies that it's like every time I watch it, I'm going to be like, ooh, I like that jump scare. I love the creature design. It's creepy. And then I'm also going to be like, oh my God, I got to deal with them not taking out a flashlight for an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, that there's going to be really big pros and really big cons. And I feel like that's why it kind of evens out at like a 7.5 for me. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.4. I was kind of like reverse. I had mine a 7.3, but talking about it, I went up a little bit. I was trying to think. In our reviews at the beginning, before we walked in, I said I thought this was gonna be better than Evil Dead. I don't think it's a better movie than Evil Dead. Rising.
No.
No, it's close, and that's exactly what I expected. That's why I think I enjoyed this movie so much. I didn't expect. I don't want to say much out of it, but I expected what I expected, and I got it. You know what I mean? Pretty much got what I expected.
Evil Dead is just unique.
It's unique. Yeah. It brings something to the table that this one didn't. I think those movies combined would be perfect. You know what I mean? Would be one of the perfect movies of this year. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.4. It's a really unique film. I think it has some of the best like scares of a horror movie that I've seen in a very long time. It's definitely top 5 for me. Like I just love the way they approach their scare scenes. I love the boogeyman himself. I think he's such a unique character, and I think the design is a character cosmetic that they should use more often. You know what I mean? It's very unique.
Yeah.
And I thought the cast was great. I think they delivered. I think what upsets me the most is just, I feel like we're not flipped on this one, but I usually hear you say this. I feel like just knowing the potential, I have to give it a 7.4 because this movie to me could have been like a 9.1.
Yeah.
Like, not saying the writing was terrible. It's not bad at all. But I just like seeing how I crafted the story in my head and how you did too. We were very similar on like certain things we would have done differently, or, you know what I mean? The flashlight, or why is he hobbling with it? You know what I mean? I just think knowing the potential, it could have been even better. So I'll give it a 7.4. But I could see this movie being a fucking A movie, dude. Like a
Yeah.
9.0 type thing.
Oh yeah.
But
9.5 if done great.
10.5. Yeah, really, truly.
But yeah, no, yeah, there you go. 7.4, 7.5. We're sitting in the sevens. But y'all let us know your review down below, man. If you're watching on YouTube, we love y'all, man. Get ready for some more reviews coming your way.
We appreciate
and make sure you
you.
like, subscribe, and let us know your review down below. Love y'all, man. And then, of course, everybody will listen to the podcast. We love you, man. I mean, we're like 45 minutes into this thing, and y'all are still here.
We appreciate
love you, man. And you're not going to be disappointed. So, a lot of fun stuff still coming up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Box office. We can only do, since we're filming this on Saturday, we can only do one box office because we can't really talk about too much going on. You know what I mean? Still middle of the weekend.
We don't know. Yeah.
Boogeyman was at 30 million for the budget, and it made 20 million domestically, it's at 20 million domestically, 27.5 worldwide, and it opened last weekend with 12.3 million. So it's not terrible. I think it definitely should make its money back. You're looking at around 50 million for sure. If you reach 50 million, you're definitely that's success, I would say, and you're making a little bit of money. But there's a lot of marketing with this movie, dude. They marketed this movie like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
big Evil Dead approach.
But why not release the same weekend as Transformers, and why do it on Spider-Man? I still don't understand that. I think that was a big mistake. You know what I mean? Why not release the week after? I mean, don't get me wrong, Transformers
Spider-Man
is a big franchise.
Like one of the biggest movies of the year, dude.
Yeah, and people have been looking at this movie for a long time, and now people are calling it the best movie of all time. So, like, you knew that was probably going to happen. So why you would release on the same weekend? I don't understand that. Mm-hmm. That's a bad business decision, and it really sucks because I think this movie...
They're just stupid!
This movie deserves to make its money back for sure.
They are dumb.
And now to some acting. Go ahead, you do the intro. I can't do it. Yes, sir. Get me all hyped up, bro. Get me all hyped up. Crackoon coming to a theater near you.
Bro.
Or Raccoon on Crack.
Oh, that's how we open her. Oh, Crackoon, dude.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So excited for some Crackoon, dude.
So, Cocaine Bear made a lot of money, and now studios are like, hey, man, let's just get a random animal, give him drugs. You know what I mean?
Crack cocaine are very similar substances, children. Just this time we're going to see a rabid raccoon on crack cocaine.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, we're about to see, I don't even know, man, meth clownfish next. You know what I mean? I don't know what we're going to, it's just going to be this big thing of like just getting random animals.
Nemo in the hood.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. It's going to be interesting. I might see it. I don't know.
If the trailer looks good, maybe you go see it.
Yep. Captain America, Brave New World. They updated the name for it. It was New World Order, and now they put it at Brave New World. That's cool. Yeah, everybody's freaking out about it. I'm like, it's not a big change.
Woo!
You know? Woo! Woo! Yeah, no, it's cool. That's actually a comic, is Brave New World. That's a comic book for Captain America. Yeah, so people are kind of hype about that, so that's pretty cool. So this is crazy. I took a screenshot of this, man. Several crew members injured on Gladiator 2 set.
I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to read out what happened, man. So this is a sequel to the Gladiator film. They're like in Morocco. The incident took place on June 7th. And the infected individuals promptly received medical attention from the on-site safety and medical teams. Out of the 6 people treated, 4 remain hospitalized for burn injuries, while the remaining 2 were treated locally and discharged. Fortunately, no cast members were harmed in the accident. The sequel, featuring Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, and Denzel Washington. I didn't know Denzel was on this project at all. That's wild. Either. That's crazy. And Connie Nielsen is directed by Ridley Scott. So yeah, a lot going on there. The movie's still scheduled for release on November 22nd, 2024. That's crazy, man. I mean, listen, stuff like this does happen. Obviously, you know, accidents are going to happen on sets, but people don't understand how like cautious they are on set, dude. I mean, they're you know this, Brayden. They're there for your safety. I
Yeah.
mean, they don't take a lot of risks, and of course, I don't know. They didn't really dive too deep into exactly what happened, but I'm assuming maybe some. I don't know, man. 7 people. That's crazy, dude. Or not 7 people. Sorry. Like six. Yeah, 6 people getting hurt. I mean, something crazy had to happen, like
Like a
fire
pyro
or
accident. Yeah.
pyro. Yeah, that it's something definitely had to happen. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, being on set, though, they are very cautious on your your physical well being, and it's really rare to see something like that. I think the last time something crazy like this happened was the Rust thing with Alec Baldwin, and then the one before that was the one stunt person that was on the motorcycle, Deadpool. So they don't happen often at all. But when they do, it's definitely tragic, and luckily no one actually died or anything. Just some little injuries. New Leprechaun movie in the works at Lionsgate. I'd never seen any of the Leprechaun movies. Have you?
Really? Yeah, I have.
You went to them?
It's crazy. I probably should have mentioned that on like their horror franchises. I actually really like that franchise. The first one's really good.
Yeah, there's like 4 movies, right?
Yeah, they kind of get worse. But the first one's like really good.
Jennifer Aniston's in it, isn't she?
I think she.
Yo, hold on, I'm gonna look it up. I think Jennifer Aniston's in the first one, dude. Wow. So for that,
it came out of like the 80s, 70s.
Yeah, man. This is
pre-90s.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Pardon my.
It is, bro. Jennifer Aniston, 1993.
1993.
So that's pre-Friends, bro. This is a young Jennifer Aniston, dude.
I wanna kiss you all over.
Warwick Davis, man, what a guy. Over and over again.
Warwick Davis.
Bryan Cranston said he's retiring in 2026, man.
What the hell, man? What the hell?
Yeah, I get it, man. He's up there in age, and he said he wants to spend time with his wife and family, and I respect that, man. He's done enough, man.
Dweeb. No.
He gave us one of the best shows of all time, so.
Yeah, you can't hate the guy.
We get it. He might actually get into the meth business.
We get you, bro.
Zelda movie in the works, bro.
Yo, yeah.
Finally, which I knew was going to happen. I expect Zelda. I expect Mega Man. I expect Star Fox. I expect. I don't even know.
Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion. I expect all this stuff, dude.
I want it.
I want it now. Look at us. But yeah, no, that's cool, man. I'm really excited. I knew that was gonna happen when I saw Super Mario Bros. Break 1 billion. I was like, okay,
it's happening.
Okay, yeah. It's happening. And of course, with the new video game coming out, it's more relevant than ever. Tears of the Kingdom or whatever, or is that the new one? I think so. Yeah, people are playing that game like crazy. They say it's really good, and I hope they do. I hope Illumination picks it up. I really do, and I hope they do the same kind of animation of like this like very realistic to the actual character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not like a Sonic thing of trying to make it different. Like, I hope they stick true to the character. So we'll see.
Yeah. Don't break. I hate when they do that. Like, why are you trying to switch it? Like, everybody likes what it looks like.
And that was my favorite part of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, dude.
Yeah.
Love that.
They really got the character spot on.
The animation was just, I mean, beautiful. Beautiful. I gotta watch that movie again now that we can watch it at home. Elijah Wood to star in Bookworm. That's an interesting name. It's a New Zealand located adventure film. Elijah Wood, cool to see him back. That sounds pretty much just like Lord of the Rings, but hey, that's dope.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, cool for him, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's a cool role.
Who doesn't love Elijah Wood?
Right?
No, who doesn't love him? You ever see that clip of him where they get the fake interviewer and they just like say random stuff to him in the accent? Mm-mm. No, I gotta show it to you, bro.
No, I don't think so.
People listening, they're gonna know what I'm talking about. It's so funny, dude. What is it? Do you wear wigs? You haven't seen that? Oh, dude, it's so good, bro. Fast X Part 2 and Minecraft is releasing the same day. Jason Momoa is starring in both.
What's this Minecraft movie about, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Are we going to do is this like a live action Minecraft? You get Jason Momoa, I'm assuming it's a live action.
That's what they were saying, but like, what does that mean? Like, how are you going to make it live action?
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
But
that's what I saw. It's going to be a live action, but I've always been like, how are you going to do that?
The whole thing, what makes Minecraft so unique is the blocks. So if you do live action, it's just gonna be an adventure movie, a survival adventure movie.
Exactly what I was thinking, bro.
Makes no sense.
Makes no fucking sense.
Ryan Reynolds and Kenneth Bergen or Branagh.
Kenneth Walker.
Can't say his name. Starring in Mayday. It's an action adventure by Apple Movies. Apple's doing good. Yo, Apple has Apple TV. Now they're going in with like the films, bro. They're killing it. Big props to them, dude. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And that is, I believe, it for all of the acting news, man. Yeah. Look at us, bro. Look at us.
Oh, no, okay. Wow.
Yeah, man. Now we're gonna get into our final segment, which is so much fun, man. You guys ask us this question all the time. Yo, Logan. Yo, Mr. Bradley Noble.
That's me, dude. Hey, hello, young man. What is your question?
How do you do a good self-tape? We get it.
Well, I'll tell you. Turn the fucking camera off.
Yeah. No, yeah, we get this all the time. And we're gonna kind of dive into some tips and kind of what helps us. What we do every self-tape and how to get the best impression for the casting director.
Yeah, man.
So let's dive into it, man. Let's start off I was going to talk about what a self-tape is for everybody that doesn't know. So it's part of the audition process. They didn't do it way back then, but now they're starting to do it now, especially with COVID.
COVID.
Yo, self-tapes really ramped up after COVID. So instead of in-person auditions, they would do self-tapes. Basically an easier way to get a bunch of different people's audition in. And what it is a casting director will send a whole thing out to different agents, a casting call. Your agent will be like, yo, hey, I got a casting or an audition from this casting director. Here's the script. Here's the storyline, all this fun stuff, the breakdown, the character, the synopsis for this project. Let me know if you want to do it. And if you accept it, I've never declined an audition. I don't feel like I don't know. I always audition just to get in front of the casting director, So,
man right there. Do you hear that? That is a note. Start taking notes, everybody.
It's just a good way to get in front of the casting director. And you basically get the whole thing. Basically, it says the project, the producers, all this stuff. So if you know your stuff, you know a project. Because sometimes it'll say like untitled, Fox film or untitled Disney movie. But if you look at the producers and directors, in the cast, you'll be able to put two and two together. And you'll know what's up. Like, that's how I know I've auditioned for Outer Banks and Stranger Things and all these other different projects. The Walking Dead. So,
Carl.
Oh my God, Carl. Wait.
Wait.
God, that hurt my throat. Jesus.
There are no rules.
That's what I'm saying, man.
We're lost.
There are no rules. We're lost.
Yo, you can do good Negan like hot diggity dog, dude. I freaking love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, dude.
Do you have the season 8 monologue memorized?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to it. PTSD, bro. That's terrible. I was.
Dude, I'd be sitting there, I'd make fun of like
Poor Glenn, man. Poor Glenn.
Love Steven.
Shout out to Steven though, man. Love that guy. Anyways, back to what we're saying. It'll say like all the stuff on the synopsis for the project, and then it'll say the different character descriptions, and then it'll give you the actual scenes that you do. You read them, you film them yourself, you send them to your agent or send them to the casting director, and that's basically how it is. So it's literally just an audition, just a self-tape version, more of a digital version of that. It's what the industry's going to. It's all it is now. You can ask Brayden. Everything we do is self-tape now.
Every single thing. You're barely gonna ever audition in person anymore.
Yeah, now
unless it's like a
even callbacks though, like
test and stuff.
Yeah, like callbacks, man. Used to be in person. Even callbacks nowadays, a lot of them.
Maybe Zoom instead.
Yeah, Zoom. I've done a few Zoom ones. Those are weird though. There's like that weird delay.
Yeah,
and
dude, I hate it.
Yeah, I can't do Zoom. I hate Zooms.
I hate that.
Thanks, COVID. So yeah, man, so that's kind of what a self-tape is, and me and Brayden have done plenty of these. So we're gonna kind of dive through what to kind of how to approach a self-tape, kind of how to go about it, and some fun tips on how to make the best self-tape possible.
Yeah, I think I think a really important thing for me, whoa. I think and this is truly just me. This could, I don't know if Logan agrees. I think one of the most important things to start off with, and of course, this is before you even start your self-tape, you want to get yourself a good reader. You want to get yourself a good, trusty, dusty person that's always around that can read for you. Like I have someone that always helps me out on my readings. And people like Logan, who I send my tapes to for some criticism and notes. And I think and like obviously in times where you have an audition in a day and no one's available, you can use the apps that they make where you do your own voice, you know what I mean? But I would say to get a really good self tape, you want another really good mind in the room. You know what I mean? I think that's extremely important because I've had auditions where that's made or break my audition and it's gotten me the role or not. You know what I mean? I think my friend Cuddy, um, you know, I'm grateful to have him in my circle and he does improv and stuff. But there was one day where like we're all talking about it. And I was like, somebody give me some feedback. Just I need some notes. And he said this like really good point, and I was like, dude, holy crap. I didn't even think of it like that. And I did the audition that way, and I filmed that film June 17th, feature film, first SAG film. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Wait, June
Yeah,
17th?
June 17th.
Oh, it's coming up.
That's coming up. Yeah.
That's the one. Okay.
For Eileen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I was gonna
Yep.
say, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
dope.
just having that consistency and having those good people around you to help, obviously like I said, a reader and to get criticism and notes from, I think that's an extremely big part of having a quality self tape.
Yeah, no, I always go to somebody and do self tapes with them. I hate doing self tapes by myself. I haven't done one like that in years. I
Hmm.
always have to go to somebody, man, because I'm someone who I love direction. I when I don't get direction, we talked about this, Brayden. I feel like I'm like maybe I'm just doing bad, or like they just gave up on me so
Why do you
much to
think
the
I'm
point.
bad?
Yeah, it's like I love direction. I think it makes it feel better, and I just had a spring in my hand and the thing just shot across the room. It literally was just gone. But no, so like I love that criticism. I think it's very important as an actor to find out different ways to do it, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, no, definitely find somebody that you trust and that knows what's up and that will listen to you
Yeah.
and will fill out the pacing of the scene, because if you don't have somebody that understands the pacing of the scene, how you feel about the scene, it's going to be wonky. So they can definitely make or break the audition for sure. Super
And
important.
I was gonna say this had like I was gonna ask you because this is probably I would say how you probably have someone that you like to go to for your self tapes. Like I don't think Logan wakes
Yep,
up every like he has a self tape and he's like, let me look up the first available person on it. Like you know what I mean? Like you have a person that you've done it before with and you feel comfortable with, and
I have my guy.
yeah, you have your guy. Everybody needs to get their guy or girl. I don't mean it like that
And
because
get
you
a
need to
few
get your
of them.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and get a few of them too,
they
because
have their own
sometimes they're
lives.
not
You
going
know
to
what I
be.
mean?
Yeah, sometimes they're not going to be available.
Yeah.
So I have like three different people I usually go to.
You might get
Um,
an audition and have 14 hours notice and you can't schedule
yeah,
with that person. So it's always good to have backups.
right, for sure, for sure. And then also just like always be able to like film it in your home as well. You know what I mean? Sometimes you won't be able to get to them, and sometimes it'll be like a 24-hour. Like there are some quick turnarounds, so you might have to like do them, yourself. And when you do that, like it doesn't have to be the best quality in the world. And we'll go to my next tip: quality. The quality cannot be terrible. It cannot be the worst thing in the world where they can't even see you, they can't even hear you, the lighting's bad. Like you got to make sure the quality's decent, but you can like really, if you really needed to, record on your phone.
I was
If you,
about
if,
I still do a lot of self tapes on my phone.
yeah,
Um and especially with how technology is, like the newest iPhone and with the newest updates and stuff, they're better than a lot of like actual cameras on the market right now. So put in
yep,
cinematic mode, do your details really nice and yeah, dude, you got a beautiful camera right there.
yeah,
So
you're good, and it's cost effective. You're good. You know what I mean? You're good. So yeah, definitely just have something ready, and then just go against a plain wall. Don't worry about the colors can matter if you go to like an actual studio to do it. But yeah, look at Brayden. He has his little wall right there. I have a wall here that I use.
the
So
blue one, yeah.
yeah, that it doesn't really matter, man. Just be able, and echo can be a problem. So try to limit the echo as much as possible. But just if they're gonna give you a 24-hour turnaround, they don't expect anything crazy anyway. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So just
Yeah.
just do you, man. Just do you.
Yeah, like
Quality's important.
I'd say a simple setup, dude. Get one of those ring lights off of Amazon. They're like 20, $30. Put your phone in it, maybe get an extra light. set it up a little bit above your head length, tilt it down a little bit so it's coming down on you and give yourself a really good angle. And I feel like, maybe also getting an extra mic, you know what I mean? But these are all just technical things. But like good self tape, bro. Get a ring light, put your phone on that boy. Make sure it's positioned right. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
angling down and it's catching like the emotion on your face. You know what I mean? And you can play into the camera and like, I love to do this a lot where I get like super angry. You know what I mean? If the camera's like up here and you try to do that, like I look stupid. But like since I'm down here and then you look more menacing that way. So you
Just
know
play
what I
around
mean?
with it. Yeah.
Just play around, bro.
Everybody's different. Just to see, everybody's height's different. So you just got to play around with stuff and just kind of come up with different things.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but still though, like you want a decent quality. You don't want to act like you look like you're recording on like a BlackBerry.
Like a
You know.
2009, yeah, Sony
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah. You don't
Yeah.
want that. You don't want that. And then I think the next one is very simple, but it's people don't do it. Follow instructions, man. Listen, instructions can be lines. It can be certain actions in a scene, naming the file, submitting on time. All those things come into
Hmm.
play, and we could start with lines. You can change some stuff up, but really you should do, and this kind of goes into one of my other tips, which is like do a bunch of different takes. You can do a couple takes where like you maybe try something out, but don't get away from that. Those lines are there for a reason. Sometimes you get the whole script, but usually 99.9% of the time you don't get the whole script. So you don't know
Hmm.
if those lines are meaningful or not down the road, if they're foreshadowing, you know what I mean? You don't know that. So
It's
read those lines are there for a reason. Those people put it on there for a reason.
as a quick thing, that's definitely more of an onset thing. Like I myself love to, play around with improv and I love to like put words and you know what I mean? If you change like that was crazy and that was freaking crazy or that was you know what I mean, you forget a word like that's you know what I mean, no one's gonna dish you points, you're not gonna get docked for that. But like Logan's saying, don't completely just change like that was freaking crazy and be like, yeah, I felt like an animal. Like, what the hell are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's more of on set in the moment once you've got the job. But you know what I mean? The
Mhm.
director, they gave you the script for a reason, like he said. You know what I mean? You're not showing up just to freaking make a whole new script,
Yeah. Yeah. That can be shown.
redefine the scene.
Right, right. Yeah. The whole
Yeah,
character development thrown out the window. Yeah, so you just want to stay true to that script for sure. And then, naming the file, man, that's so important. Sometimes casting directors won't even open the audition if it's not named right. There are a lot of casting directors that are that
Hmm.
way. So make sure sometimes they don't tell you how to name it. And if so, just do the generic way of naming it. You can look online, find some examples. But a lot of times they do have it on there. Some casting directors just like it being organized. So make sure you name it exactly how they have it on there with like your name in front. Sometimes they also like cutting the files together. Sometimes they want the self-tape in front, or
Hmm.
not self-tape in front. Sometimes they want the slate in front, which is where like you say your name, height, age, and all that. Or sometimes they want it in the back. So like there's a couple different ways that people
Reread.
yeah, there's a couple different ways to do it. So just make sure you, like Brayden said, read that
Read it
instruction.
over. What do you have to lose? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If this is here's how I think about it. You know what I mean? Especially coming from if we're coming from the indie side of things and people who are still trying to establish a career in this industry, what's stopping you? You know what I mean? What is stopping you from really taking the moment, taking an extra 2, 3 minutes to read it over extra 3, 4 times and making sure you have everything perfect? That's gonna stand you out to the person who doesn't care. You know what I mean? You always got to think somebody's working harder than you, and simply just rereading the instructions multiple times, you might sit here and like, Brian, you're so stupid. How do you do that? That's not a big deal. It is a big deal. It really is.
Pretty big
That's
deal.
going to set you apart. Yeah, people
Yeah.
like Logan said, people name the file wrong, and they don't even want to look at it. And they're like, what the fuck? What is this? What is this? What did they send us? You know what I mean? So it's little things like that, man. And to go and waste an extra 2, 3 minutes doing that is absolutely nothing. If that's what's going to set you apart from getting the job or not, and making sure you send what they want, and you're not just
Right.
sending them stupid shit, you know?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. For show.
For
And then
sure, dude.
I think being engaging early is a big one. So casting directors, they get thousands of auditions and hundreds of auditions.
This is something actually Logan told me, like when I first met him.
Yeah,
This is a very important note.
they're not gonna watch the entire thing. If you have a 2 minute audition, they're not gonna watch all 2 minutes
The
because they
only way
have
they're watching that is if
thousands.
you're considered. Like,
Yeah, no, there's thousands of other auditions they're getting. So that 5 minute audition is going to go up to, multiply that by a couple hundred. That's a lot of time sitting there watching stuff.
Mhm.
So usually they'll watch the first 30 seconds, if that. So even if there's nothing there, give them something to latch onto. Don't do a backflip into, onto your mark. Don't do anything like that, but get their attention somehow early on. Don't add any lines. Don't do anything crazy. Just do something that's going to grab their attention. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a wardrobe choice. Maybe there's a look. Maybe there's an action you're doing before the scene. Yeah. Maybe there's something there. Just that's where your creative mind is finally opened up. Is finally opened up to doing different things. Like I said, lines, you don't want to get away from the lines too much. But the first 30 seconds. So because usually it's like you just sitting there until if somebody else has the first line or something. You know what I mean? Usually your character is doing an action.
Yeah.
Do something that jumps out. Very, very important. They'll be like, oh, okay, I like that. Then they might watch a little bit more of your scene, and the more that they watch, the better, obviously, that you want to get their work out to these people. So just try to capture their attention in some kind of way. Just make sure it's in the back of your mind. Don't overdo it, but definitely do something.
Yeah. And, the reason we're making a whole segment on this is like, this is important. This is what the industry is going to follow as auditions probably for the rest of film's existence. You know what I mean? I don't even see why we would go back to in person at this point. It's just so convenient. There's unless you can virtually hologram people in the future.
It's cheaper.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cheaper.
It's way cheaper for the casting directors. They just sit in their house and do it now. They don't have to go to their actual studio and open these auditions. And bro, in-person auditions, especially like commercials and stuff, were absolute hell, bro. There's so many little kids running. There's so much going on. It can just be so confusing, and long days as well, sitting there for hours. You know what I mean? From like 9 to 5, not even just literally just sitting there watching people. It can be pretty watching the same thing over and over and over again, which is once again why you want to stand out. So yeah, you're 100% right. It's never going to go back to. I mean, there will be more in-person stuff, but it's never just going to go back to in-person. I'm with you 100%.
And I really like what you said, because this is probably my next point. I'm going to give you guys some little things in your auditions that can help you stand out a little bit. Like what big one is that moment before that we were talking about, like how Logan was saying, this is something that Jordan Woods Robinson actually told me when we were training together, and something that stuck with me because the man, the myth, the legend. This thing stuck with me because I feel like as actors, the minute the camera comes on, we get this anxiety. And he looked at me and he was like, Brayden, before the camera turned on, you were still this character. After the camera turned on, you were still this character. All that happened is a button clicked play. There's no reason now to overthink the scene, want to change anything about it. You can't be intimidated by that button turning on, because what is it? It's just something capturing the real life existing moment. You know what I mean? And you should be able to just be in the scene, be your character. And this would be a great example. If you guys are at home and you get frightened by that, I know a lot of people that I've talked to get anxiety from doing self-tapes and stuff. Have someone just record you, without even telling you. Just tell them to start going, you're in an audition, and just start doing your scene. And then they're going to click it, and then you just do your scene, and they don't tell you when. And that way, that idea of it clicking on and now you're putting on a performance, you have to be this way, it's not there, and you're just now truly living in that moment. But I think the moment before that leads to that, you should be doing something that it's a real existing moment in time. All the camera is doing is capturing an interruption of that. So you want to act like you've been doing something, think about what you were doing a minute before this scene's taking place. Read the scene. You know what I mean? Once you see what's going on, be like, well, what would I have been feeling 2 minutes before that?
Yeah, and we talked about this too in I think it was the third episode we did. We really dove deeper into it. I got to put my other headpiece on, dude. My voice just sounds weird now. It's so trippy. But no, we talked about this, I believe, in the fourth episode. And we did how do we approach a scene or whatever. And if you guys want to hear more in depth on how we really dive into the character backstory and stuff, it's in that episode. I believe it was the fourth or third episode. I'll put it in the description down below. Go find it. It's in there. And we really dive into how important it is to build that backstory and do something, before the scene to give that character some kind of life. And just makes it an easier transition, like Brayden said. So I just want to dive in here real quick and just say that definitely go check that out. We dive deeper into kind of explaining how to do that and more specifically.
Yeah, and I mean, and Logan's absolutely right, man. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize the moment before. You know what I mean? They don't think about thinking about those things. But if you're the character, it's just natural. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big tip that has really improved my self tapes is taking into consideration that this is not like the performance didn't start when the camera turned on. I've been this character this whole time. The performance started this morning when I opened my eyes. It's just capturing that moment, um, doing things like a bold choice, make yourself like Logan said, stand out, man. Do something like, didn't you tell me I really love this because I think your mom is the one who told me they had an audition where they said don't wear like orange or something, and you purposefully wore orange to stick out.
So in Florida, at least, for commercial auditions when I first started, everybody and their brother said, wear blue, wear blue. Blue looks great. Blue makes your skin tone pop out. Go blue, 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 blue. Blue looks best on camera. And then I was like, I'm just going to wear orange one day because I'm a Gator fan and I do what I want. So I went and wore.
I'm repping both my colors.
I'm both my colors. So I wore just a bright orange shirt to an audition and I got the job. And then I wore orange again, got the job. And then I just started like booking all these commercial shoots. And then, dude, I started coming on to going into commercial auditions. Bro, orange everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, everybody's wearing orange now because it was something that stood out. Something that was different. Something that captured people's eye. And it could be small things like that. Wardrobe choice. I don't have that written down in my tips, but it's important too. Wardrobe is such a big thing. It can make it. Don't be showing up. Yeah, don't be showing up. You know what I mean? Looking like you're at the Met Gala, but you know what I mean. Show up and just wear a little something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a positive light. Dress like your character would dress. It's another thing.
Yeah, no, totally. And something just like that, like a bold, and that's a physical choice. You know what I mean? Of physicality that you're of clothing. You could do something, I love to do the scenes. I personally don't like holding items in my scene. I think it's like a little distracting. It just depends on what it is.
I'm not a prop guy, yeah.
But like if you you're over on it's hard because I'm on camera. But if you're like this, you're like you know what I mean? Like they can't see that you don't have a smoke, but it's a cool little that's a moment before you could add to a scene or something. Or like when pick up a cup and like mess around with it and like don't even take a sip, just stare at it and like put it down like you're pissed or you're angry or something, give that little thing that the director is just like, ooh, this is a little thing. That's what they look for, are the little things. You know what I mean? Because everybody can do the job. It's just who can do it better. You know what I mean? And who can do the little things.
Right.
So
100%. Yeah, no, you're right on that. And then that kind of goes into my last tip, which is like try different takes and try different things. This is an experimental part in the process. I guess acting in general is just a big experimental thing. But this is definitely the beginning of that. You are there. If you're filming this by yourself, this audition, you have hours to do it if you want to try different things. Now, when you do it with somebody else and you book like a time or something or like a time to do it, a little period of time, you might have 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes 30 minutes. So it might might not be able to play around with it too much, but do a take. Usually the first take is the most authentic, by the way. Do the take, rewatch it. I like that.
That's a Clint Eastwood thing, actually.
What?
Right? I'm pretty sure it's Clint Eastwood. He only does his first take.
Oh.
Dude, you know who I heard? I don't remember what movie he said he acted with him. It was Chris Pratt. He worked with Clint Eastwood.
Oh, Bellwood, dude.
Dude.
Crazy.
No. Dude, you are a troll, man. Yo, go see Bellwood theaters or
Yeah, there you go.
No, I can't remember what movie it was, but he was like, it was super intimidating because Clint Eastwood only does the first take, and it's like you had to nail it, and then he would move on immediately.
That's true. If you, I didn't think about the co-star.
Yeah,
Oof.
man.
So you tell me he does the.
Dude, literally perfectly every time, just.
I guess he doesn't have to work on that, man. It's crazy. Oh, let's get a little bit more smolder, please. Just a little bit more smolder.
No, that was my one take. Let's move.
No, man. Yeah, it's good to try out some different stuff, though. You know what I mean? We're not all Clint. So it's good to kind of play around with some stuff and because you never know what you're gonna get out of it, man. I mean, there's like I always usually go into an audition with like 2 different or 3 different ways to do it. And I'm like, yo, Adam, my guy. Help me out a little bit, man. I want to do this way, but I also kind of want to throw in some, these 2 things and maybe work on this emotion a little bit more. And also, if you have any ideas, let me know. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like it's it's a teamwork thing. You know, like you said, your partner is going to be your critic. He's going to be your person giving you ideas. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And don't overdo it. Don't sit there for 4 hours
Yeah.
working on an audition. Just do it a couple
Don't burn
times.
yourself out.
Don't perfect it. Don't perfect it. The imperfection is what makes it perfect. Okay.
Yeah. You sit there and you try and perfect it, and you
Over
harp on it
perfect it.
too long.
Yeah, man.
You're gonna be pissed. The tape isn't gonna be good.
Nope.
Another big thing that goes with this tip, along with extra takes, take some time. I would try and say, like, don't rush your self tapes unless, like we said, it's a quick turnover. But like, if you have time, like, go to bed and wake up the next day and watch your tape and see what you think then. I've had a lot of tapes where I've sent them in like right off the jump, and I went back in the past and I was like, dude, what the fuck was I thinking, bro? Like, that was terrible. And it's just like, because your brain is so, like, you burn out, you've pushed so hard, your creative thinking, you just want it to be good and you want it to be over, but like sometimes it's not how it works. So aside from what Logan was saying, I love that. I love that note. I do every tape. I try to do it 2 different versions, and I always narrow it down to the last 2. And I'm like,
And
what do I think? Sometimes you can send both.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. You can submit both
Yeah.
if you want. Now
Yeah, I do that a lot.
sometimes, yeah, and if it doesn't say, sometimes it'll say only submit one.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't say it, I always submit 2. I don't care.
Yeah.
I always do 2.
It's never bad to ask. I mean, I don't know for every set I would go out of my way to do it, but if you feel comfortable with the person you're messaging and you're like, hey, I have another take. I don't know how you'll feel about it. I don't know if it's any better, but maybe you want to see it, and some people are susceptible to seeing that.
Yeah, because if the casting director really doesn't want to see it, they're going to put it on there that they don't want to see it. So always be free, but don't just do another take and do the same exact thing with like a small change.
Exactly.
Make it a drastic change. Make sure you can see it right from the beginning.
Make it less external, or make it more and happy, or
yes. And sometimes, and it'll change the whole tone. Sometimes I'll do different takes, and I'll be like, wow, there was barely a difference, and I'll be like, all right, scrap that. We'll just go with the first one again. You know what I mean? Like that happens, man. And so don't give them the same exact thing. Just don't do it. You want to see that change right from the get-go, or they're going to skip over you and forget about you.
Yeah, man. No, I totally agree. So it's a big thing, guys. To definitely do, don't harp on it, but do the more than one take, and make sure you get stuff you're happy with. That's all that matters. And like I said, if you need to take the day and you come back the next day and you're like, shit, man, I don't like it. Maybe I should do it again. Do it again. If that's what you really feel, that's what your heart's telling you, do it again. You had enough time to get out of your head and, be, just get into the zone again. So,
yeah, man.
My last point, man, and I feel like this goes just for like a successful career in this industry, no matter what, but with like, just always be trying to learn how to better your self tape, always get better equipment. You know what I mean? And it's not something that has to happen overnight. It can happen however long, but being the one in the room that wants it more and learning as much as you can and just developing those things, what will stand out in a self tape. Find that group of people that is consistent with you. Take the time to review your tapes, not just scan over it once or twice, reread the instructions, reread your stuff. All of these things are going to propel you, you know what I mean, into I won't even say the next level, but you're gonna be taken seriously by more people if you do these little things, you know what I mean, because that's what helps you stand out from the rest of the crowd. So
yes, sir.
Yeah,
love that, man.
Yeah,
Good
man.
stuff. Well, yeah, I think that's all the points I wanted to hit as well.
Man.
I think that I guess the last one is just have fun. Have fun.
100%.
This is your time to enjoy yourself, and then those casting directors will see if you're not having fun. You know what I mean? They want to see you just because you'll also be more creative. You'll be more, fluid. You'll be more loose, and then that kind of makes it more believable. In real life, we're not all robots. You know what I mean? We're just loose people having fun, and the more loose you are, I think the better that the result will be. So, if you guys apply all those tips, man, you're going to be looking at a really good self-tape, at least a really good start. And a lot of that, like I said, everybody's different. They're going to have different techniques, different approaches, but a lot of those will really definitely help you out when it comes to your self-tape journey. So,
absolutely.
We're good. Well, yeah, that's going to be it, I think, for this episode. I mean, episode 20. Look at us, bro. Look at us, dude. And,
and
one
of my favorites so far, man.
It was actually really solid. Yeah, it was a really fluid conversation. I know we start...
I love talking to my guys.
We start filming the Dark Room tomorrow, man. So excited about that, which... Not for you guys. We started filming yesterday when you see this, because you're going to see this on Monday. We're filming literally as this... Not as it comes out, but, on Monday. So man. It's gonna be so much fun, dude. I cannot wait for you guys to see it.
We're really gonna do we're gonna do a reflection over that, right, on next week's
yeah, well, next week we have the Flash.
Hmm.
The week after we have Asteroid City. So yeah, I guess we could do that. We could do the Flash, and then just for the second half we can, put in
Do a reflection.
yeah,
Talk
do a
about how
reflection.
what goes into making a short film.
Yeah, man. Yep. And we'll talk about our whole experience with it. So
Yeah, bro.
I was wanting to make it or like the entire episode that, but
Mhm. Oh, we could do that.
I was wanting to wait until it comes out though, so we could do like it's like it would be like the just talk like do a review, talk about it like a whole
Yeah,
thing.
that's what we'll do.
So we
We'll
do
do a
pre-production,
reflection.
production, and then post. You know what I mean?
We'll do a reflection, and then in the future we'll do the whole review and
Yeah.
stuff.
We'll talk about our filming
12 out of
experience.
10 movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I know, right?
Best film ever.
Best film. When we do the end of the year thing, where we do all the movies. It's gonna be right at the top. Right at the top. Bro. Right at the top. But no, man, that's gonna be it for this episode, man. We really do love you guys. If you guys follow us on our Instagrams, right under Brayden is his, right under me is mine. You guys can follow us there and get all the fun updates on the Dark Room. Also, I'll put the Dark Room Instagram in the description down below, and you guys will be able to go follow us on there, and we'll be posting all updates all throughout the week. BTS, all kind of, not the band.
Not the band, sadly.
Hopefully, I wish that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Imagine BTS just showing up.
Yeah, all right.
But no, all the fun BTS on there. We'll just post like random pictures of BTS. But no, BTS.
The boys.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, all the behind the scenes shots and footage. It's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna get a lot of good
We'll
stuff.
post some stuff to the Patreon. Go see some backstage stuff there.
Yeah, I might. Oh yeah, Patreon as well. Go on there. And I might also do a vlog for my YouTube. So we'll see.
Ooh.
And just vlog the whole experience. You know what I mean? That should be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it, man. Thank you guys so much for watching, man, on YouTube and on Spotify. More platforms soon, I promise. We've just been really busy with all this preparation and stuff. We even have more to do tonight, so that's going to be exciting. But yeah, no, man, I love y'all so much. Really do appreciate it. 20 episodes in. Here's to another 20. Let's get it, baby. Love y'all. We'll see you next week when we do The Flash. Yeah. Love y'all, man. Stay safe.
We love you.